Hello, here we are, day 111, day 2 of the North America journey. I don't know why I did that. But day 111 of the mini live challenge. And today we're going to talk about facing resistance and change, educating people, encouraging change, and the mountain that we must climb. So let's just go live on Instagram. I hope this is going to, hello everyone in Instagram. I hope this is going to work. That's good, but I can't. Tim's just showing me that we are online and Gary's just checking as well. We've just had to reboot the server because we weren't, we were all a bit fuzzy still. So I hope this is not coming through fuzzy and I hope you can see it. Okay, so today, the mini live challenge, day 111. I hope that's the right day. I want to talk to you about something that we are experiencing constantly on the internet. And you'll hear lots of different versions of who people think HM are, who they think the school is, or what they think the school is, and me included, and Gary. I want to talk to you about what it feels like, as you well know, probably, facing that resistance and in the midst of all of that, trying to encourage change. And what that feels like to climb that mountain. So welcome to day 111. I can see people are turning up already. So before we dive in, I want you to take just a little moment and think about a time when you shared something that you truly believed in, that you have evidence that you've seen from us, because when you've stuck around here long enough, you start to see all the evidence coming through. It's incredibly overwhelming. I've just noticed that the Phoenix group has gone up to 12.7 thousand. It's rocketing up at the moment. And our Facebook group is also increasing. But when people are new to us and they turn up new to us, it's overwhelming because they're sort of dumped into this world that they don't really know anything about. And they see all these quite confronting posts and think, I don't know quite what I'm meant to be doing, where I'm meant to be going, where do I go to look for help? And I'm not quite sure. And then amongst that, we've got people out there in the big wide world there's a lot of mockery going on. There's an awful lot of resistance. A lot of the reason for that is because not just that the topics are not only because the topics we are talking about are confronting, because basically what we're saying is if we get hoof balance right, we're going to stop P3 rotation. And then people can't deal with that whatsoever because they want to believe that all of that must have been caused by diet or some mythical thing that went on in the bloodstream. So it's very confronting. And so we are going to get a lot of resistance just simply because of that. And also because of the pokey posts that we occasionally put out. We put out quite a lot, I suppose. Why do we do those? Well, because it's social media. And these days on social media, you don't get anywhere by just having a sweet little conversation. You only get places when you actually show things that can spark debate and discussion. That's what we're all about, right? So how do we deal with it when we get this resistance? And it is a continual flow of resistance and mockery that keeps coming through. And it doesn't matter whether it's, whether it's the Phoenix way, maybe it's hooves. Do you know what? You see it everywhere, don't you, on the internet? It doesn't really even matter that it's us. It could be in any particular subject on social media. But we're specifically talking about us, aren't we? So how did you feel when you might have posted something that you thoroughly believed in and you were faced with that resistance and that mockery? How did it make you feel? Did you get that pushback? Did it make you think, God, I'm just going to get off that now, I'm not going to even bother? Or did you try and see if you could make sense of it, but knowing full well, or offer some sense to that person, but knowing full well there is absolutely no point? How did you handle it? What did you learn from that experience? So that's what I want to talk about today, about something that we all encounter very, very regularly. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge we all face. You know, we put these posts up, we share important truths that are backed up by evidence. You can't get much more evidence than x-rays and sequential x-rays at that. How do we deal with that resistance, that scoffing that often comes with it? Because it's a tough subject, right? But it's vital for the journey that we're going on, for the journey that the equine world must go on. There's a paradigm shift happening, and we are in the thick of it. So today, we shared a post that was obviously going to be shared out into the big wide world by lots of people who are supporting us, but also by people that want to mock it. Can't believe what we're saying. I think one comment was, it's a dumbass comment, or it's a dumbass article. And then big laughing emojis. Because I think we were showing the reality of a long toe rehab. And people do. They scoff at it. They'll scoff at it. They'll call it dumbass. Why? Because when they looked at that confronting image, they just immediately thought that isn't normal. That's not what I've been taught. They don't understand this is a foot in the process of being rehabbed. They just think it doesn't look like a foot that they would leave an owner with. Oh my God, I couldn't leave an owner with a foot like that. It's appalling. But these are horses that we are hoping are not going to be ridden. They are just going to be able to go through their rehabbing journey and get the feet that they want back within a year. Sometimes it takes 2 when they've gone down that road of pathology. And it doesn't take that long for them to be ridden. But when we're in the state where their toes are growing out, then we have to be incredibly careful. But they see that and they think, oh, that looks horrendous. They don't really... They're skirting around on the surface, like I said at the beginning of the show, that they're not in the thick of it like you are. They don't understand it quite the way that you do. They can't see that truth because they're stuck in deep ingrained tradition, and it's causing them to miss the bigger picture. So that's what I want to talk about today: how we can get through that resistance, and how we can keep moving forward, and how we can keep explaining the truth to those that are stuck in their old ideas. So who have we got? We have got on Instagram, we've got Faria Bayrem. I don't even know if I could say that. Faria Bay. I'm going to call you Faria Bay. Mary Beth with 6 ponies has joined. Lena is here. Tim Turner's here. Right, my lovely. Elavage is here, and Laura's here. Hello, hello, hello. And who have we got coming at us from from YouTube? I don't know if I haven't got anybody coming in on Facebook. Is it gone on to Facebook? Sometimes it should be, but it might not have. You might not have seen it. Hello, everyone, says Margita. Top of the shop. Well done to you. Susan Shide's here. Hello. Becky Bragg is here, coming through loud and clear. Excellent, because yesterday it was a nightmare. Stella's here. Good morning, stroke evening. It is 1:40 in the afternoon here. Camilla's here. Hello from sunny Sweden. Jeanette's here. Hello all. Margita says, my experience is that a lot of people don't want to see the truth and get upset. They are just not ready yet. It's confronting, isn't it? My God, what does it mean? It means that if you haven't got the hoof care right, that you're causing these issues. That is not going to go down well. It's going to go down like unmute myself. Sorry, I think I muted myself. So it is, and Margita says it's deeply frustrating, but I try to lead by example. Yes, sometimes that's better than words. Jeanette says, I have come to an age and level of experience of life where I express my belief and listen to the reply. I think as you get older, it does make it a little bit easier. You just go, oh, okay. Angie's here. Hello. See you soon. I'll be headed your way tomorrow. Fantastic. I think a lot of the students are already in the area because they're moving in, because we're doing our training camp, which we start on Monday for North America. And then we're going through Monday to Friday, and then back to back, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's our first workshop for owners in Maryland, in Bowie. I'm not quite sure if we've got any spaces, but get on contact us if you can. Lee's here. Hello, my darling. Hello. Bethan's here. I'm listening whilst poo picking the GTL track. Good for you. What a good evening. Kim Allaby says hi. Jeanette says, I feel if there is an opening for explanation, okay. If not, I just walk away. Okay. Alicia's on Facebook. She says it's okay. Amanda Maxwell's here. Hi, guys. Libby's here. Hello, all the way up in Shetland. It's good. Yeah. Gary said it is good. Jane Howell's here. I'm on Facebook. Fantastic. Georgie says, I hope you're all enjoying the US. We are. It's hot. We thought it was quite hot in France. It's hot. And today I saw a giant cicada. I don't know why I just thought cicadas looked like grasshoppers with big, long grasshoppery legs. I always did think that. I feel stupid now because I found out that they don't look like that at all. They look like massive flying grubs. They're huge. And I will try and share a photo of it maybe later in the group. It's massive. I picked it up. It was on the grass and all we could hear is this deafening sound. And it was huge. It was at least as big as that on my finger with big, transparent, veiny wings with googly eyes on the side and like this olivey green color. And that apparently is a giant annual cicada. But we learn all about periodical, periodical, is that right? Periodical cicadas today. Yeah, where they come out every 17 and 13 years. Well, they live underground for 17 years or 13 years, and there are different groups of them. Anyway, I'm digressing, but that was fascinating. Go and look up periodical cicadas. What is going on in the world? It's so incredibly crazy. Amanda, I think they haven't lived through the process. Neither have I, to be fair, but I see the reasoning. Yeah, exactly. You've got to kind of get into it and really, because you're going to ask all these questions, aren't you? And hopefully over the time we answer them. We can't answer them in 5 minutes. Hi, Elf, says Laura. It's good to see you. Lydia's here. Hot here. Hi from Canada. Jenny's here. Hello. Marshall says, welcome to the USA. Thank you very much, Marshall. I know there's a mountain to climb, but I'm so happy more people are learning. I'm sharing my story with whoever will listen. Have fun. Thank you. Lee says, they are great fishing bait. Are they? Because they're like bat things, right? Honestly, Lee, I had no clue. I don't know why I had no clue. Howdy from Oregon. Lindsay Dinsdale's here. Hi, says Eileen was howdy. And Marianne Caffrey's here. Hello, great to have mini lives again. It is, we're back. Hurrah. It's so good. So let's talk about the resistance we face. Yeah. Every time HM shares something like those long toe rehabs, we're met with resistance. And it's not just about hoof care. It's about challenging that status quo, questioning those long-held beliefs, pushing against decades of tradition that have been passed down through generations. That's Gary. Everybody wave, Gary.
Oh, am I on the telly?
Yes.
Hello.
I don't know where he's going. That's been passed down for decades. Think about that, right? Think about the fact that if you go to a school and the school are teaching you that laminitis is all down to diet, metabolism, etc. In fact, we had somebody joining our Phoenix group today who is in a school, just started to learn farriery. And imagine that's you, right? You're there, you're in a school, you find us and you think to yourself, right, I'm going to learn some more information about this. And then you go and talk to your peers about it and they scoff at it and laugh at it. And then before you know it, you're doing the same just because that's what your peers do. And you've not really looked into it. So this is an issue, isn't it? Tradition is an issue. And why does it happen? Because of tradition, because it's deeply ingrained. It's that traditional thinking around hoof care. And it's been in place for so long that people just don't question it. Even though the peer-reviewed research doesn't prove it, they still don't question it. So when they see something new, like the things that we're sharing, or that feels unfamiliar, like the long toe rehab, might as well call it that because that's what everybody else calls it, they instinctively reject it without even a thought. They see the image, it confronts them. It's just, we're going to type what a dumbass picture that is, or a dumbass article. That's what they're going to do and laugh. Ha ha ha. They're not going to really think about it because it doesn't fit into the mental box they've built based on years of their beliefs. And also there's comfort, isn't there, in tradition, because change is super, super hard, especially when those old ways have been working, or in their mind, so they think. That idea that hoof balance could be so different from what they've been told for decades, that's going to feel really, really disorientating and threatening to their personal identities. It's threatening to them. It's not just threatening to everybody, it's threatening to them personally. And then, of course, you hear it banded around all over the place, confirmation bias. And we see people clinging to the ideas that support what they already believe. That we must cling to that at all costs. Doesn't matter if I'm showing you sequential x-rays that prove to you that P3 goes up and down with the heels. Doesn't matter. You're still going to believe that that horse in that field got fat and foundered right before your very eyes, because it doesn't compute any other way. So even though we can present the evidence to the contrary of what you're believing or what they're believing, if they've always been told, always been told that a short toe is the only right toe, then what they see is going to challenge their entire understanding of hoof health. And it's a major issue. It's a major issue when what we're dealing with. Lee says, I have recently got to the point with a couple of my clients where we have gone through a year of hoof healing, and the last trims have been the ones that the long toe was able to be trimmed off. Somebody commented about you, actually. I think you saw it on the main page. So well done. Margita says, science has always been confronting throughout history. In medieval times, we'd get chased with forks and get burnt. Lucky for me, right? I am where I am. I'll tell you what, though, I feel that I'm getting chased and I feel that I'm getting burnt on social media. But that's okay. That's okay. We can deal with that. It's in human nature to fear the unknown. It's instinct. Marianne says, it's a bit slow. I don't know if I've gone all slow with you now. I think I have. Sorry about that. Marianne says, saw an awful hoof on page today, terrible osteonecrosis, massively high heels, and the page owner said the worst thing you can do here is lower the heels. It's so mad, even when you see it. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes, isn't it? Everybody can see it, but no. Like, I can see that, but no, that's been caused by something else. It's not. Rona's here. Hi, Rona. Hi. That this isn't going to be showing up on. Oh, God. Have you asked one of the vet schools to document your findings? Maybe they would consider taking in a case study and allow you guys to carry out the required hoof care, as they can be your scientific review partners. No, we've not contacted any vet schools as of yet. And to be honest, I don't think it's the right time. I don't think vet schools are in a position at this moment in time to really take this kind of thing on board. You know, vets are taught not just about horses, they're taught about all animals, aren't they? And when it gets to the horse and it finally gets to the bottom of the horse's foot, they learn about the pathologies, they learn about the very traditional thoughts about laminitis, but that's about where it ends. They don't actually get hands-on properly unless they do a bit of shoe pulling or a bit of abscess digging. They don't really get in understanding balance trimming because there's nobody there to teach them that. And so farriers will come in, show them different types of shoes, explain to them what they need to do or the different types of issues they come across. And that's about as far as it goes with their knowledge until they get to the vet practice. And then when they're in the vet practice, they basically follow what everybody else is doing. There's no room for increased emotional development around the subject because they're so overloaded with horses left, right and center, lame with problems. Let's get back down to the bottom. Marianne says, hi, Gary. Bandwidth again. Yes. Yeah, my bandwidth. Manual owner. It's hard explaining. They are in a way. It's absolutely fine. Please, struggle. Fortunately, you will get that. Lee's just said your internet is lagging a lot. So I'm going to refresh. Stay with me. I'm going to refresh. So just hold on, guys. I'm going to refresh. Hello. I don't know whether that's improved. I saw, Rona says, I saw the recent post and a couple of people couldn't understand and as usual laughing and being rude. Of course. Is that any better? I hope so. I'll just keep telling me if it goes downhill and then I'll reload. Thank you, America, for giving us. We're in the middle of a wonderful estate. And the internet is rubbish. Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? You check. You check it, darling. Can you hear me now? I've taken my AirPods out. Your mouth is moving, but there is no sound. isn't it working? Is it working better now? So don't look at me. Just listen to the sound now. Okay, it sounds like it's coming through all right. All right, okay, start again. Start again. Where were we? I was talking to you about how we get it across. So the answer is we just need to keep persisting. We need to persist, we need to educate, but we also need to understand that not everyone is going to be ready to hear it right away, because we're in the thick of it, they're on the outside of it. And some of them are so far away from what's going on, they're not going to at all get the gist of what we're saying. They just think we're mental, just think we're mad. So here are some strategies to move us through it. We've got to lead with evidence. It's really, really important we lead with evidence and not emotion. Because when we explain these truths, these facts, the evidence, these are our best friends. Data, case studies, real-time rehab, Scoresworth track livery, Bethan, these are the things that are going to help change people's minds, or at least get them to stop and go, well, how did they manage that then? If what we're being told over there is you've got to cut the DDFT and do a tenotomy, and that's the only way you're going to stop P3 rotating, which obviously is nonsense. But that will help give the credibility that we need. This is why our massive data collection, which we are gradually collating, is going to be so powerful, because it's not just about saying, well, we are right. It's about showing the world through real results. And it's not just about the long toe. It's about the process of rehab, that step-by-step journey and the outcomes that we've seen from it. So you really need to be looking at stuff like that. We really need to be sharing the behind the scenes. I know you've heard me say it quite a lot, but when people come on and they ask us for peer-reviewed papers, we say we haven't got time for that. Sounds a bit lame. Funny word to use, really. Sounds a bit lame, but that's the truth. We need to share the why behind the process, because one of the reasons that people scoff is that they don't understand why we do the things we do. Instead of just saying, here's a long toe, it's part of the rehab, let's break it down. That's what we have to do. Explain why it's essential that that toe pillar remains intact in the rehab, and why we leave the toe to grow in its own time to restore that natural balance. We need to encourage others to educate themselves. And I know that and you guys do this all the time. The Phoenix Warriors are doing it all the time. I see you doing it. I see people when they come in the school, I see people saying, this is where you need to go and have a look. Go and have a look at the It's Not Rocket Science lessons. Have a look at the Phoenix Way resources. So we can encourage those who question to go out and look beyond the superficial that they see and delve a bit deeper into the science. And it's about helping others see what we see, and not in a combative consistent, because the truth doesn't just, because people scoff, the truth doesn't just change because off or because they reject it. We need to make sure that they're doing is understanding that that truth still remains. So we have to be consistent in our message, in our practice, and our commitment to the horse's health. That persistent will pay off. Persistence will pay off. Time as more people see the results, they start to listen. So the bigger picture. What are we facing now? We've got to look towards that bigger picture, because it's more than just one rehab or one post. People turn up, they've never met us before, they see the post, they think that we're just crazy people. They've not bothered to go looking down the page. They've not bothered to go and find out more about the Phoenix group. And in fact, oftentimes have not really bothered to read the post either. So it's about changing that entire system of thinking. And that has been, as we know, wrong for decades. It's about stopping that cycle of misinformation. People say what we're doing is misinformation. People read that. Then they come to us and we say what they're doing is misinformation. You can understand why people are stood in the middle, putting their hands on their heads going, oh, I don't get it at all. So what we want is evidence. That's the most important. That lack of evidence has led so many people down that path of suffering and misunderstanding. So as we, HM and the HM International Care, continue and see real rehabs unfold path, but we need your help to keep it, because you stand up, you believe, even in the face of resistance, you're helping change. This isn't about that truth and the tools to help their horses. All right. So I'm going to have to go to somewhere like Starbucks and do the challenges. So we'll be doing it there maybe tomorrow, or even at McDonald's. So the takeaway, change isn't easy. So when we challenge the status quo, we'll always face resistance. But if we keep educating and staying consistent and not losing their head, and this is a story for me too, because I suffer from the battering as well. It's difficult, the personal battering. We try very hard not to be personal with people. We try very hard to keep it global, as in the equine world. But it's hard when people are constantly at you. But it comes with the territory, and I'm fully aware of that. And when I dip and I go down and I don't feel great, I have people around me, including you guys, to bring me back up again, and we keep on going. So it's one truth at a time. And so we have to let go of those old myths unless there's evidence to prove it. And there isn't any. So we have to trust what nature gave us and that natural foot and put that horse's well-being first. So reflect today. How can you stand firm in your beliefs even when others are trying to dismiss them? And what's one piece of evidence of knowledge that you think you could share with others today which would help them understand? Share your thoughts. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. Hello to everybody on Instagram. Thank you for joining us on YouTube and on Facebook. Sorry, the internet connection is crap. You can blame Gary or Asha, maybe. No, don't blame them. It's not their fault. I'm sorry about that. Tomorrow we will go somewhere else where we've got a better internet connection, and we'll see what we can do. All right, my lovelies. I love you all. See you tomorrow. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye. Bye.